So it turns out the Galacticos are not invincible. Their unbeaten streak has came to an end, and I'm not going to rag on it because of what an unbeaten streak it was. It was phenomenal. You're not. You're going to do it for talking's sake. Why would you?
Yes.
Why would you rag on Real Madrid's unbeaten streak?
For sure, because it's like Zidane's 4th loss ever.
It's
no, you think I'm joking? It's something like that.
No, it is. It's right around the 4th. I think it might be his 3rd loss ever.
In La Liga, it's an absurd record that he has. I'm not going to rag on them.
It was a run of 40 matches in all competitions, and it was Ronaldo put Real Madrid in front, and then Sergio Ramos just had a really disastrous second half against his old team. Weak as well, yeah. And he had an own goal. Against his former club, and then Jovicic's stoppage time winner put Sevilla ahead, and they won. And then Sevilla are within merely 1 point of league leaders Real Madrid. Now, they have a game in hand, I get it. If they win that game, they go to 4. Still not a big gap, and I know Barcelona are right there next to them, but Sevilla, out of absolutely, let's say nowhere, because they've always been there, but they have shown... They've always had European promise. They've won the Europa League more times than I have worn bow ties. And now they're mixing it in the Champions League. Unfortunately for Leicester City, they have to face them.
I was really excited because I thought Leicester a month ago got a favorable draw because they didn't have to play Real Madrid or a Barcelona or a team that you would safely pick to win.
Yeah.
And Sevilla, along with the group stage that they were drawn into, and now they have to go up against probably the team I would not want to face. If I was anybody in the Champions League at this point, is Sevilla. They've played on a big stage and won it a couple of times. They're now surging to the top of La Liga. I don't think we take them as a serious title contender.
Yep.
Real Madrid's probably got it still semi-locked up. But... 2 things. I want to read a quote for you, Francis.
Hit me.
From Deadspin, because I found that it's not... Sergio Ramos' week was just not that good. Not a good start to 2017. A lot of history with that game. They played Sevilla in the Copa del Rey. They won 3-1 in advance. But it was in Sevilla, and they do not treat Ramos well. He used to play for Sevilla, youth product there, as I was reading. So here's the quote. It's element number 7. That's Stefan Jovetic. We'll get to that one a little bit later because he's having a hell of a January. But number 7. Sevilla and Real Madrid also played Sevilla 3 days ago in the second leg of the Copa del Rey. And they were talking about how to win the tie when Ramos, a native of Sevilla and a former Sevilla youth product, stepped on to take a penalty as chance of Sergio Ramos, hijo de puta. You are a bitch.
Yeah. Which is surprising because he's almost like the golden child of Spain in general. Like, they love him in Spain. He did used to play with Sevilla. Now, he further heightened those chants of, let's say, disgruntled fans towards him by chipping the penalty, which is seen as an insult, right?
And then
especially when you're a centre back. Yeah, and
he made to his jersey,
and he rubbed it in their face. Now, I would probably have done the same thing. I mean, it's not like he left Sevilla and he was at the top of his game and went money grabbing. He's been a Real Madrid player for as long as I can remember.
To ruffle feathers.
Yeah, of course I would. I would love to have ruffled that. Those feathers most certainly would have been ruffled.
Was it not kind of Ramos to head an own goal to be like, oh, I feel a little bad? Here you go.
He's never been welcomed back with like open arms, right? He's never been like, oh, come back. You're like the way that Iniesta is welcomed everywhere because he scored that World Cup winning goal, so everyone just welcomes him.
That's different. It's a nationwide
love
goal.
of him.
It's the same thing. Götze can do whatever he wants in Germany for the rest of his life. He could be 85.
He can move from the rival team to another one and back.
A little more than that, he can like vandalize a neighborhood and they'd be like, oh, it's fine. He scored the game-winning goal in the World Cup. They'll excuse him for anything. I guess my point on Ramos is, I guess if you're a Sevilla fan and he grew up in this youth academy with Sevilla, and they're probably thinking like, this could change our culture as a team. He's that good. A lot of talk. I'm giving Ramos a lot of credit because I don't know. I think that Ramos, as a defensive player, is as important to Real Madrid as Cristiano Ronaldo is.
Sergio Ramos is the best goal-scoring defender, or one of the best we've ever seen. That's why I kind of gave him his title. He pops up in the most clutch of moments. He's a good defender, but the reason Sevilla are doing so well, Jorge Sampaoli has came into this already, let's say, well-established machine. They weren't as established in La Liga play. They weren't as competitive as many would want. And he just completely got rid of what he's seen as deadwood. And many people were like, well, what are you doing? This is a team that's won the Europa League. Oh. This is a team that is very good going forward. This is a team that has built themselves as a well-established Spanish footballing team. He brought in 11 new signings, 14 departures, but they seem to be reaping the benefits from it because, they're not going to be able to retain the Europa League this year because they made it into the last 16, the better point of the competition, and they've got every chance coming up against the Leicester side that are in disarray in the Premier League.
To be in the final 8?
To be in the final 8 and even go further. They're going to be a complicated side. I think they're going to be this season's Atletico Madrid when it comes to Barcelona and Real. That's nothing against Atletico.
There's already an Atletico Madrid
there is still an Atletico Madrid.
There might be this season's already an Atletico Madrid.
Yes, but they're just...
What if they played each other?
It's the way they're just slowly creeping up. And then they leapfrog Barcelona and they're only a point behind. When you look at the table, you have to take a moment.
Oh, the takes. Oh, the hot takes. Oh, my God.
It's very close.
Those are the 4 deserving teams to be in the top. I have to say, though, I know it's always those 3, but Sevilla...
It's refreshing to see La Liga this close, right? Usually, Real Madrid, Barca, and Atletico, and then the gap between them is usually, more often than not, pretty far-fetched. But look, it's only 8 points separating Villarreal to Sevilla.
And there's a ton of drama in the Copa del Rey.
Yeah, and
if anybody's been following, Athletic Bilbao with the big win, or the first big leg win over Barcelona, which still resulted in Messi bailing them out with a free kick to advance.
Yeah.
It's not as predictable. Even through a 40-game unbeaten streak, it's not like Real Madrid's ever been unwatchable. Every time they're watchable. It's one of the most watchable teams in world football, but it is refreshing, Francis.
But it just proves that they're not invincible. Now, this hasn't changed my outlook on Real Madrid. I still think they're undoubtedly favourites to go on and win La Liga. I thought that their unbeaten run would come to an end in April because they had to face tough tasks away to Valencia, have to play Barcelona, and that's where I thought it was going to come to an end. But Gareth Bale's a sole loss to that team at the moment. They don't have Gareth Bale. He's usually an outlet that provides an option. This was coming. I mean, they were bailed out 3 separate occasions by late goals. One of them recently, of course, against Sevilla. And then in this game, they took the lead, and a late goal has cost them. Maybe their concentration is switching off a little bit, but it's not exactly going to be a problem for Zidane. He's proven how versatile he is. He's proven that he, as I mentioned when I stated after El Clasico, why he's the best manager to play under at the moment is because he doesn't play by anyone else's rules. He wants to play his system. He doesn't care that Real Madrid are known as being the attractive Galacticos. He goes in and goes, you know what, I'm going to put 5 defensive players on there and rely on Ronaldo and Benzema to do their magic up top, but we'll be hard to beat. Hence why they've been unbeaten in 40 games, only lost 1 game in La Liga. So the overall run, they won 31, drew 9 of the previous 40 matches. It's just an almost unheard of record. And by the way, it would also why I'm happy they lost is because Celtic's European record is now intact.
What was
the domestic unbeaten record. I don't even know the number. I just know that it's a remarkable record that Celtic holds.
Jovetic, real quick.
Hit me with Jovetic. He's a guy who's been on the cusp of greatness, made some big... They didn't exactly hit the heights at Manchester City.
Signed on loan on the 10th.
Yep.
Scored a goal in his debut on the 12th. Hits the game winner on the 15th.
Sounds to me like he's starting the new year the way we all wish we could start the new year.
And that's it. That's all I got. Those are the elements.
That's all we've got. And it's all she wrote, apparently, for Real Madrid's unbeaten streak. But
just like Manchester United,
we'll see.
Barcelona will not finish the top.
Barcelona got back to winning ways. They smacked Las Palmas, who, as we expected, would do. But it's going to be an interesting time. This is what makes this league just right there on the cusp next to our Premier League for me this year, because it is so competitive. My eyes are drawn to every game now. I don't wake up just assuming Real Madrid win 5-0, Barcelona win 4-0, and it's a battle of goal difference. No, there are teams out there that don't fear, especially Sevilla. They are fearless.
I think the Copa del Rey is up for grabs.
We'll see it.
For a couple different teams.
We'll see who goes. Hit us in the comments at Francis_Maxwell and at Jason Rubin 91 and Francis Maxwell. Oh, I changed my name on
Francis
Instagram.
M. Maxwell.
Yeah, I did change it because host is just kind of like I don't like getting put in boxes, Jason. I'm not a box putting type of guy.
M stands for Manchester.
But no, true, but I don't have a middle name. I've talked about this on the platform before. I have a confirmation name,
which is Michael.
So Francis M. Maxwell is valid. It's valid. And Jason Rubin 91 because that's valid because he was born in 91. See you soon.